Hello, everybody. We're going to get started in just a minute on our webinar. We're still logging in. Get this started. Share my screen. All right. All right, we'll get started in just a minute. Good to see you all. I'm Rob. We'll get started in just a minute. I'll record this so we can share afterwards and you can share it with your teammates. We'll only be about 20 minutes on this presentation of some exciting news that Bamboo has. We'll get started in just a moment. I see a couple more people hopping in. All right. It's just 1 minute past the start time. Let's give it another 30 seconds and then we'll get started. Just see a couple extra people hopping in. This meeting was set to record automatically. Privacy policy. Okay. Is it recording? Nope. Yes, it is recording. Awesome. Awesome. All right, we've got a nice full house today. I guess this is an important topic for everybody who loves SharePoint and Bamboo. We're going to start this off with a little PowerPoint, an overview of Bamboo. Take a little tour of our website and how you can get a trial of this product for your SharePoint Online site. And then we'll get into a demo of the product. So it's good to see you all. Let me go ahead and advance the slide. All right, so a little bit about Bamboo. First of all, I'm Rob Manfredi. I'm the president and owner of Bamboo Solutions. We're super excited to announce a new feature to one of our flagship products, Calendar Plus. But for those of you that don't know, Bamboo is a leading provider of enterprise-class software applications and consulting services for SharePoint and Microsoft 365. Over 8,000 customers have installed our products worldwide. We're a Microsoft Gold partner. And over the past 3 years, we have invested heavily in not only recreating our on-premise SharePoint products to work in SharePoint Online through a complete rewrite, but we've also created products that don't exist on-prem with all of the new features and capabilities of SharePoint Online. So we're excited to have you here. We always say our experience makes us the best in class. We've been around for 10 years, but the Bamboo products have been around for at least 20. We purchased Bamboo Solutions in 2016. I was formerly their vice president of sales and marketing. I started a consulting company in 2010, and in 2016 ended up buying Bamboo, developing their cloud strategy and supporting the customers. And we've had a great 6 years since then doing just that. We're a small company. We're only about 40 people. Our headquarters is in Reston, Virginia, which is outside of Washington, D.C. And the like. So not only do we offer products, but we also do Microsoft 365 services, which includes both migrations and support. We also do migrations into the GCC and GCC High for all of you customers that serve the DoD. We can do architecture work. We can do administration and managed services work. So we can actually manage your Microsoft 365 installation, which includes help desk for your users, monitoring your security score, and really doing anything for you that you want in terms of configuration of Azure, Exchange, SharePoint, Teams, and the like. So we become that point between Microsoft and your team that can provide great service to you. And that runs as low as $40 per user per month. We can do custom development, which we do for some of our products and product customers, and the like. So we do all sorts of great services on top of what we do. So before we get into Calendar Plus, let's go ahead and take a quick tour of our website, which is at bamboosolutions.com. The menu at the top will give you information on the services that we just spoke about, right? So broken down by either functionality or for departments within your group. This is information on our migration team, which is dedicated to solely doing migrations, either from commercial to commercial, mergers and acquisitions where you want to bring people into your tenant, people who want to leave Rackspace or GoDaddy and move over to the Microsoft direct relationship, or people who need to move from wherever they are into the government cloud or government cloud high. We do have a nice migration center of excellence down here that provides insight and guidance for people who are looking to do a migration and the like. So we hope you use this for information. On the product side, if you click on that, you'll see a full list of our current products. The blue products are products that are ready for Office 365 or Microsoft 365 SharePoint Online. You can see a lot of the favorites from the on-prem world, such as Calendar Plus, Data Viewer, Group Redirect, Knowledge Base, Column Level Security. But then you'll also see products that don't exist on-prem, such as our Directory Plus, which allows you to build directories and org charts in SharePoint straight from your Active Directory in Azure. So that tunnels through the Graph API as well. So lots of great products. A nice short description of each of those are here. In each of the product pages, there is details about the features and functions. There is a user guide that is located here. And then down below is the pricing for the product. So we don't do any subscriptions or per user per month pricing. This $3,995 is the price for a perpetual license across your entire SharePoint domain, which allows you to install it in many site collections as you like, for as many users as you like. If you are a small not-for-profit or an education group or a small business, we do have pricing for you located here. And we do what's called a maintenance-only pricing for our small businesses. So maintenance for the product is 22% of the purchase price, which you'll see here. So this product is $4,000. The maintenance is roughly, I think, $800 per year. So for simply $800, you would get a perpetual license if you're a small business with fewer than 100 employees or a not-for-profit or educational institution with fewer than 300 employees. Then you would qualify for this pricing. Of course, if you are a not-for-profit or education institution larger than that, we do have special discounted pricing for you as well off of the normal purchase price. So please inquire about this if you're a small group. We'd love to get you into as many products as possible and service the needs. Conversely, if you're a larger group, over 2,000 users, you would still pay $39.95 for this product, but you would also have an additional enterprise support per account. The enterprise support per account is an additional yearly charge while you are on support per account, not per product. So if you are 2,000 to 10,000 users, you would spend an additional $2,500 a year, including the first year, plus the second year on top of that 22%. If you're a little larger than that, you pay a little more. And this is the equivalent of if you've got a large farm on-prem and lots of servers. So what we're trying to do is scale the level support that we need to have for our larger enterprise customers to make sure we're providing the value you need to keep those products running for your organization. So both those things we'd happy to talk you through and the like. But essentially, you can grab a trial of our product by simply clicking Try By or going to Microsoft App Source and searching for it. Right here, you would grab a production license on the trial. No credit card needed. Simply check out. You'll get the package that installs in your app catalog, and off you go on a 30-day trial with full support. If you need help configuration, help with training, help with installation, we're there for you on our help desk, no charge during your trial. We want to make that really exciting for you. And you can see there is a link to AppSource. If you prefer to get the product from AppSource, you can do that as well, simply by clicking on this, and you'll see a full list of all of our products in Microsoft AppSource as well. Okay, that was a lot to go through. We do have a question section in the Teams meeting. If you want to ask questions, we'll try to get to those as well. Okay, so let's talk about the new features of Calendar Plus. Let's first talk about the existing features. So what Calendar Plus does is it allows you to bring together calendars and events by rolling either the lists with dates or calendars from SharePoint sites that could be on different site collections. So you may have a marketing calendar here, an event calendar there, a product release calendar there, and a holiday calendar somewhere else. Those can all be rolled together into a color-coded single view of that calendar with lots more views than you get with SharePoint out of the box. You can do complete searches against those rolled together calendars. You can have Gantt views as well as calendar views. We can add week numbering, and obviously it works in the modern experience, giving that classic calendar experience for your users that they're used to. There is a filterable legend as well, which we'll see. In June, we had a release earlier this summer that had new month views. It was a month without the weekends. We call that a weekday view. We've done some good improvements on the multi-month displays for the quarter or yearly or next 3 months view. We added that global search feature. We improved how the tooltips pop up so that they don't cover key items. We enabled reordering of legends. So as you add legends to your calendar, you can actually reorder them on how they appear for the user. And then what we had announced is that we started working on Exchange support. And I'm happy to say that next week will be the full release of what you're going to see today. We have 5 beta customers that have been using it for the past month. It is really solid and it's got a great number of features. We'll only be improving that in the coming months on top of that. So what does that mean, Exchange support? So essentially, we tunnel out through the Graph API from SharePoint and allow you to add shared Exchange calendars just like you would add a SharePoint calendar. And they appear side by side in Calendar Plus, seamless to the user. When you install the product, it will ask for permissions to access the Graph API, which you simply check yes for. User calendars can be added. The permissions will be carried through to SharePoint. So if I've only shared that calendar with a few people, even though you've rolled it together into SharePoint, only those few people will be able to see that calendar. A common use is also those asset or conference room calendars can be added so that people can see what conference rooms are available or what assets are available within SharePoint as well. We do preserve the categories from Exchange, so the little categories within Exchange that you can assign an event to will come through as well, or you don't have to use categories. And we also support two-way communications so that you can actually add events if you have that permission from SharePoint into those Exchange calendars. So it is bi-directional, reading as well as writing. We are preserving the same experience, such as the global search, the pop-up info, and repeating events are supported as well. Some of the known limitations right now, you can only roll together 4 Exchange calendars in there. That is a Graph API limitation that we believe is going to be lifted, but we also believe we have a workaround in the next release that we can use multiple service accounts or some other tricks that we know within there to be able to add more calendars. So I know a lot of people have 10 or 15 conference rooms. They want them all on that calendar. Right now, unfortunately, the Graph API limitation is that you can only add 4 Exchange calendars at this point. Of course, you can add an unlimited amount of SharePoint calendars because that's all local. All right, so with that, let's take a look at the product. Okay, so here we see Calendar Plus on a modern page. Just for way, we're looking at a month view that includes the weekends. We have a day view, work week, month, weekdays, which we just spoke about, an agenda view, which is kind of a nice view. It shows you any day that has an event in it. You can see the pop-ups showing me more details that are configurable. You can see we have multi-lines for events if your event title is really long. And we also support a 3-month, quarter, and year view, which gives you more of a list. And this here is grouped by week numbers because we've got week numbering turned on and the like. The work week is nice. You can see it does show by the hour what is in there. We do support all-day events as well. And on our legend on the right, you can see that this red calendar Let's go back to month view so we can see the red ones. This one here, red, right, is our Exchange calendar. Okay, now this Exchange calendar, we do not have any categories, even though they're here. We're going to turn those off. So the events absorb the color of the calendar. Unlike the SharePoint calendar, where we've got this purple, we do have categories, which are planning design, which you can see we've got a purple calendar and then a mustard yellow color, which is marketing, right? So if I turn off the marketing category, you'll see those events disappear. So this is a filterable legend. If I just want to see my Exchange calendar, I can turn that off and you can see we've got that right there. So we can select them all. We can select none of them. And then we can zoom in just on a specific category if we like. So let's see, we've got, what color we got this for SharePoint lists, we've got mustard. So if I wanted to, if there's a lot of calendars, I can turn them all off and just look at the marketing category and just see that one specific category within that SharePoint list as well. So a lot of neat things to for the user. We talked about the global search. So if I wanted to look for, let's say, a customer meeting and do a search, it will find that one customer meeting right there and show me all the details related to it. If I'm looking for something where there's lots of options, if let's say sample, and do a search, it'll come back in more of an agenda type view where I'll see all my events that have the word sample in it and the dates along with the pop-ups just like before, so I don't have to click on them to see really what the details are. So really useful, especially as you start bringing together lots of calendars. Let's go ahead and go back. Another neat feature is if you have permissions, you can add events to those sub calendars as well, including the calendar in Exchange, right? So the bidirectional communications is there, and then you can export this as a PDF, image, or SVG, depending on what view you're looking at. All right, so that's a nice tour. As you can see, you can't tell if you're looking at an Exchange calendar or a SharePoint list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how we configure this. We're going to edit. When you edit it, if you've got contributor rights, you'll have access to the gear wheel, which brings in our flyout configurator. So we essentially have to go through 3 or 4 of these items to configure this Calendar Plus instance. So in this case, you can choose to have a calendar view, a Gantt view, or a list view. So we do support Gantt view if you're showing task lists or things like that. You can turn on the ability to have this new button. Again, it's still permission trimmed, so that if you don't have the ability to add, even though you've got the new button, you just won't be able to do it. I can also select the number of items I see in this month view cell and the multi-month view right here. So I can make it smaller or bigger so that I can see more events before I get the more button, which allows me to drill into that day and see everything. Now, the real trick and what we've been working on is our data sources. So you can see we now have 2 radio buttons. One is a SharePoint list and the other is the Exchange calendar. If I choose Exchange calendar, I do the exact same thing as I would for a SharePoint list. I give the calendar a name, I give it a color, I give it a title font. Again, you can select these to match whatever you want. You can choose the font that you'd like, and I've chosen a Verdana, but there's lots of other fonts in here, and the font size for these titles. So you can make them a little tighter, a little smaller, a little bigger. And then you put in the test user email. This user email is the one that's going to have access, or those calendars from Exchange need to be shared with. Obviously, it can be shared with lots of other people, but the one that you need to put in here allows you to click the load calendars, and then you will get a list of all of the calendars in Exchange that that user has access to. You choose the calendar, and then within there, we've got all of the Exchange fields for that calendar that you can then choose the title, the start date, the end date. These are all your date fields. And then in the tooltip, you can grab any of those fields within Exchange so that your pop-up tooltip gives you as much information as you would like to give to the user when they hover over there. Okay. In this case, we selected a category and it brought over the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple categories from Exchange, right? We've all seen those before. And what we can do is actually we can just sort of unselect them all, or I think you can go here and it will remove the category since they're not important to what we're doing here. The second calendar is a SharePoint list, and you can see it's the same sort of setup. That's this SharePoint list down here. So we called it a SharePoint list. We gave it a purple color. We put in the site URL. We loaded the lists from that site URL. We grabbed the calendar for project 1. We've got the title, the date field assigned to the categories here. And if I wanted to add, let's say, a third calendar, I could go ahead and I'm going to grab this same URL. And let's first give it a calendar. Let's call this, I think this is a project calendar. All right, we'll give it a nice color. Sort of, let's go blue. Let's go to our Verdana. And let's make this a little smaller. Put in our URL, click load lists. And then I'll grab that second project 2 calendar. And then we're gonna grab the title. URST, and then start date, end date, due date. Do that. Is that due date? Must be. And then our tooltip fields, we'll just grab a couple of these. We'll grab the category, we'll grab created by, we'll grab the due date, and we'll grab the description. So we've got lots of good stuff in there. And then if we want a category, we'll select the category field. And then what it'll do is actually grab all the unique items from that multi-choice. I can choose to have them all, or I can actually pare down the amount of data that comes into this roll together calendar by deselecting some categories. Or I can actually specify a filter condition. I can use a SharePoint view, or I can say, you know what, I really only want items that were created by a certain person, Courtney. And that way I'll only see the events that were created by Courtney. Or sometimes what people do is they'll create a field that's called public or not. And that allows the people who manage those sub calendars to say, you know what, I want this event to roll up to the status calendar at headquarters. And then you could just say, all right, I only want to see the events that that person has chosen to make public. So that filter data is very powerful to bring together data that only you want to have in the rolled together calendar. Again, the source calendar can have everything, right? But this rolled together calendar can be trimmed down. So we'll go ahead and leave that there. We can then choose our view. We've got our month is our default view. And then here's all the different views that appear here. We can turn those on and off. We can turn to choose week numbering on or off. We can start the start day on Sunday or Monday for our European customers. And then we do support all 3 ways of selecting what is week 1 of the year. So the first day of the year, the first full week, or the first majority week, 4-day week there. The legend, we talked about being able to reorder those, so we can reorder the way these appear over here in the legend, regardless of how we've added them. We can display where the legend is on the right, left, or bottom, and then, of course, enabling filtering and the like. So what we'll go through, and just make sure my data source is still here. It is, and then we'll go ahead and submit this. And you can see we now have 3 calendars and no more categories on this Exchange calendar. We'll republish this. And as simple as that, we have reconfigured. Come on, SharePoint. There we go. All 3 calendars, right? We now have our project calendar here. Do we have anything in that? We might. We can see we have no categories for the Exchange calendar, and it has now adopted the full color of the calendar versus the color of the calendar and the color of the category. They used to be gray, but we had customers reach out and say they would love it to do this. So we built that into this release as well. And again, we've got nice filterable calendars ready to go. I don't know if I have any items in that project calendar. Let's go ahead and see if we do. Go there, go back. I think we do. Oh, well. It's added nonetheless. But if I wanted to, I could add a new event to it if I like right from here. All right. So coming back to our web PowerPoint, we've talked a little bit about licensing and support. Again, it is a single price for your entire tenant. We have special pricing for small customers, and there is the added support for larger customers. But again, you can then put this product on every single calendar and every single site collection that you have in your tenant. It is a perpetual license and maintenance is optional in the second year. We do recommend that you pay it. It is 22% of the purchase price plus any enterprise support that you may need. But Microsoft is changing things and we are chasing that tiger all the time, but you also get all the upgrades to the features that we added, for example, the Exchange support that you saw today. We do have a help desk that is located here in Virginia, Chicago, and Alabama. So we support essentially global customers and the like. So we talked about the enterprise support here between 2,000 and 10,000 SharePoint users. Again, this is to support our larger customers who have a little more demand on our ticketing system. And then a couple nice pricing examples. So if you're a 1,000-person company and you buy the product, it's $39.95. First year includes first year support. Second year, we'll send you a quote for $878 that you can choose to pay to stay on maintenance or not. If you don't, the product will work as is. You just won't be able to download new versions as long as Microsoft doesn't change something. Gets a little more complicated if you're over 2,000 users. So we have this enterprise tier 2 cost, right? And then the first product is $39.95. And let's say you buy Employee Directory Plus, which is $18.50. So your first year to buy these two products, if you're 5,000 users, is the price of the two products plus the enterprise support, or $8,340. Second year, you would pay the $24.95 again, but then only the maintenance on the two products, which is $878 and $407. So your ongoing maintenance support would be $37.80. The enterprise cost is per account, not per product. This is what this is meant to show right here. All right, that's all we have today. I want to take a look to see if we have any questions that may have come up. The calendar, so the calendar is not a classic events calendar. It looks like it, but it runs in a modern list and modern view. So essentially what you're doing is you're bringing that classic experience into the modern experience. We've got a great blog that shows why third-party products, and specifically Bamboo, can help your users move from on-prem to the cloud, but still have that classic experience in a modern view. Yes, it works off modern lists, and you can add recurring items, fully supported, and the like. So we welcome you to give it a try. We'll help you set it up and make sure it fits your needs. We had another question. Can anyone with permissions to view the page see all calendar information regardless of whether the original calendar shipped? No, you can't. We carry those permissions forward. So you'll be able to see the page. You just won't see that one calendar. You will see all the other calendars. So that's different than what you get with SharePoint out of the box. If you don't have permissions to just one of the calendars that you may have layered together, you don't see anything. With our product, you will see the calendars that you have permission to, and you won't see the calendars you don't have permission to, even though they're rolled together. So that's a really, really good option. In the on-premises Calendar Plus, wrapping was enabled. I'm referring to the title field in the monthly view. Does it wrap now? Yeah, so we support long title fields in the monthly view, and it does wrap. I don't know how many times it will wrap. I think it just shows 2 lines and then you get a little scroll bar. Megan, give me a thumbs up on that if that's true or not, on if you've got something that's longer than 2 lines. Do you get a scroll bar, or how does that work? So I'll wait for her to answer on that. Let's see, we've got a new post. Our Exchange calendar categories created in Outlook. So they are actually created in Outlook. They come over as that red, green, orange like we saw, or whatever you name them, and you can turn them on or off just like any category. So they are being pulled from Exchange, the categories. Post. It does support group calendars as well as team calendars as well. So if you've got a calendar that was created in Teams, those exist in Exchange, and then off you go. So we're super excited about this, and we're glad to see all these great questions. And Megan, yes, so you'll see 2 lines on a long, yeah. So let's go back to a 3-month view. And you can see this one's long. You'll see 2 lines. If it's more than 2 lines, you'll get a little scroll bar over here, and then you'll scroll. So it doesn't actually pan out to something very big over here. So the max you can see at any given time is 2 lines. Of course, if you open it or include the title in your tooltip, you'll see the full thing over there in the right. All right. I think we also support HTML in the titles. That was a request from one of our customers that it is HTML. You you can put stuff in the title, like bold and bullet points and things like that. Yes, I got a thumbs up from Megan on that as well. So the titles can get pretty advanced. All right, well, we hope you all grab a trial. The Exchange version, if you want a trial in our beta, you can email us at sales@bamboosolutions.com and we'll get that to you, or we will have an announcement next week. And I'll announce to everybody here in the webinar that it is available through our website in just the regular trial. So the Exchange is not available yet. It will be next week, fingers crossed. All the bugs are fixed. We've got one little what is it? It's a Graph API issue that happens sometimes. So we opened a ticket with Microsoft to find out if that's an issue. But we're down to the short straws. It's taken us all summer, about probably 2 months longer than we thought. It's really complex, but we think the end product is going to be worth it for everybody out there. Giving you a fully rendered, full color, full functionality Exchange integration into Calendar Plus. So with that in mind, I'll let you all go. We'll have a recording of this shipped out to you. I will notify you when it is ready. If you want something sooner, just email us at sales and we'll get you into the beta program. So thank you all. Thanks for the applause, and enjoy this day wherever you are, and we'll see you all online. Thank you very much.